Good evening. In this session, I am going to perform continuous integration and continuous deployment for a Spring Boot application with Jenkins. I have one demo application, and let me open this demo application. Go to src main java app.appcontroller.java. So there is a simple logic I have written in this web application. So that is, it is using the REST controller cross origin to take the contents into different port numbers, where it will take two input variables through the browser, then assign those variable into the path variable A as well as path variable B. Now it will return the responses addition of two numbers are A plus B. It will return two numbers with the addition. So in the src main resource application.properties, I can set the port number as 8081. Now let me run this application in local machine. So the same application I'm going to deploy it into the Jenkins. How to run? First right click this demo, then run as Spring Boot web app. So now the application is working fine and it is running on the port number 8081. Let me open localhost colon 8081, enter. It is showing the error message. Now I need to add the endpoint as add followed by some two numbers. As we already written the logic for add, I'm taking two variables through the browser. Now enter. I'm getting the responses. Addition of two numbers are 8. So now this application is perfectly running. The same application, whatever we have, we are going to deploy it into the Jenkins. So I already have the complete application into my Git repository. You can get the complete project from this URL github.com/srithar/webapp. So now what I want to do is I want to deploy this application into Jenkins. So before the deployment, I want this code into my Git repository. So I'm going to create a new repository. I'm going to keep the same files into another repository. For that, I'm going to download these files first. Just to go to download and download as GIF file. So now it is started download it. So first agenda for session is that I'm going to push this code into a repository. Though I have already a repository, I'm going to create a new repository and push the code into the new repository. Okay, so let me unzip this file. Right click, extract to web app. Now it is unzipped. Web app main, it is now unzipped. Now go into this folder. Okay, so now it is ready. So now in this path you can type cmd. So okay, so as we already installed git, so now we can check the git version, git ---- version. So now git is successfully installed. We can go ahead with your actual commands. So okay, the first command is git init. So the purpose of git init is that it will initialize the new repository in your local machine. Now the git is initialized. So once you completed this step, so we have to, if you are the first time user, you have to configure username and the password of your GitHub. See, whatever you have, what are the username you have given for this GitHub, the same username. This is the username, and whatever the email ID you have used to log in into the GitHub, same email ID to be provided. The command is git space config space ---- global space user.name username, as I'm going to give the username as Srithar S. Enter. So similar to that for email, do it for email as well. Take email, git space config space ---- global user.email. So now the email ID, I have given my personal email ID. So okay, now username and email ID is now set. Now we can go ahead with the actual commands. The next command is just to check the status of your get status. So now these many files are ready to commit, but it is not yet committed. So we have to add all these files for the staging process. The command is git space add space dot indicate all the files. So now all the files are ready for the commit. So then now the next command is git space add space. So git space commit space hyphen m space followed by, I just make it as a first commit. Git space commit space hyphen m space first commit. Just enter. Okay, so now all these files were committed. So now the next process is that I want to create a new repository in GitHub. The same in the repository I want to push all these files. So let me go into the github.com website. I'm going to create a new repository. Click on create a new repository. So you can keep a repository name. I just keep the repository name as repo1 underscore web app. So I'm keeping the repository name as repo1 underscore name as it is available. Keep the repository as a public repository. Now you can create a repository. By default, it will show some default codes up to these first 4 lines we already completed. First 4 lines we already completed. Only these 3 commands are pending. So let me copy this command git branch hyphen m main. So the meaning for this command is that I'm going to create a subfolders into my repository. So that is the meaning. So I'm just to copy the branch. Now I'm just to copy this code and creating a new branch as main branch. So either you can create a main branch or master branch. It's up to you. Just enter. Now the branch gets created. Next step is, so you want to create a remote origin for our newly created repository. Just enter. The final step is I want to push all the source codes from local machine to the Git environment. Just enter. So if you are the first time user, it will ask you to authorize just it will ask you to provide the authentication. Click on sign in with your browser. So okay, so now it is authorized, and you can see that now whatever the source code which is available in my local machine, now which will be available in the repository as well. Now see that the same files which will be available in the repository as well. So okay, so now let us start with the Jenkins for the integration. So for doing this, you can open the Jenkins with the localhost colon 8080 8080. Just enter. So it will ask you to give the password. In the previous session, we already set the password as admin, username as well as username and the password as admin. So okay, so this is the Jenkins dashboard. So before we start create a new items into the dashboard, we have to install few dependencies. First thing, click on this manage Jenkins. Then under these tools, click on these tools. So we have to set the JDK path as well as Maven path. So now just to come down, you have the option called JDK installation. Click on add JDK. So here, so whatever name you have given under these environment variables, the same name to be given. So let me open the environment variables. So in the previous session, we already set the JDK home and their variable as well as the value. So take the same variable name as well as take the same path. Okay, so now after that, just to come down, we need to set the Maven installation. Click on add Maven. for here also we need to set the variable name as well as the path. So I am just taking the second one, Maven home. First take the variable name as a Maven home, and just uncheck this install automatically, because we already downloaded and installed the Maven, so we can use the same path. Just to copy this path and replace under the Maven home. Okay, so now you can save this. Okay, so I'm going to deploy one more plugin to be installed. That plugin is useful for the deployment purpose. Now click on this plugins and go to this available plugins and search for deploy to container. So now it is showing that the first dependency name, deploy to container. Take this package and install it. It will take some time to complete the installation. Once we completed it, we can start integrating your GitHub and Jenkins. So okay, now installation is successfully completed. Now go to this dashboard. So I'm going to create a new item. Click on new item. So I am just going to keep a name, and the name of the item is, you can keep it as Spring Boot app, or you can keep anything, Spring or web app. We will keep it as a web app. I'm just going to keep it as a web app 1. Take the item type as a freestyle project. Click on OK. So now you can keep some description. Actually, this is some calculator application. So I'm going to keep this as a calculator app. So now the first thing is that I want to give the Git repository URL. Click on this Git and the repository URL to be given here. So now go to your repository. So this is the repository which I have recently created. So you should not take the URL from here. You have to take the URL from this green button. Click on the green button and take this HTTPS URL. Take this URL and paste it. So now you no need to provide any credentials, because we have given the repository as the public repository. If you are given the repository as the private repository, you must provide the credentials. The next part is, so this is most important in your repository here. So here I have created the branch as the main branch, but by default it is taken the master branch, so I need to change it. So if your repository, here you can find that repository is main means you should provide here as a main. If it is a master, then you can provide as a master. So now come down. The next option is the trigger. The meaning for this trigger is that every time the build started, so I have actually we have to provide the option called poll ACM. Click on it, and you can schedule it star space star space star space star space star. So actually there is a space followed by all the stars. Let me tell you the meaning for these stars. Actually we call these as a cron job. There is a meaning for all the stars. First star indicate it is the minute, which represent 0 to 59 minutes. Second star indicate it is a hour, 0 to 23. Third star indicate it is the day of the month, 1 to 31. Fourth star indicate the month, 1 to 12. Day of weeks is the last star, that is 0 to 7, where 0 start with Sunday, 7 end with Saturday. So the meaning for this is, it will try to build the application for every minute, every day, every week, every month. So that is the meaning for keeping these stars. So ensure that there is a space between the stars. The next option is environment. You can choose the first option is a delete workspace before build starts, which means that, so if you are doing multiple builds, and it will delete the old builds, so it will generate the fresh build files. So next step is build step. Now click on this add build step and take this invoke top level Maven targets. Now we already set our Maven version into our environment file as well as your tools. So I have to choose this as the Maven underscore home, which we already set. So now there is a goals option is there. In this goals option, we have to provide one command, lineage command, that is clean compile package. So the meaning for the clean is that, so before starting your build, the previous builds will be removed. The compile means the entire application will compile and it will generate the var file. So the meaning for the package is that at final it will generate a file like a jar or var file. Okay, so that's it. So now we'll do the last one as a post build option. Click on this add post build options. So now you can find the option called deploy a var to a container. It's okay. So now you have, so after the build completed, it will try to generate a var file, and you need to provide star star slash star dot var. Let me tell you the meaning for this one. Star star indicate that var file may be present in any directory, any folder, and the var file end with dot var extension. So in the context path means, so it will try to run the application, and those run the application to be available in the Tomcat server. So you can keep any name here, Spring Boot app 1. So I'm keeping it as a Spring Boot app 1. So let me add the container. Click on add container. So as we are already given the Tomcat version as a 9.x, choose the Tomcat 9.x. So now in the previous installation video, we already created the credentials. Right now no credential, I want to add the credentials. Click on Jenkins and provide the username as admin as well as password also admin. Click on add. So now take these credentials and you need to provide the Tomcat URL. Actually in the previous video we have successfully installed the Tomcat. Let me tell you where to check or where this application Tomcat is running. It is running in localhost 9090 port number. So this is the port number where you can find the application running. Okay, so now take this server port number, Apache Tomcat server port number as well as the URL. Go to your Jenkins and replace this Tomcat URL. So that's it. We have completed all the required configuration. Now we can try to run our application. So now you can save the file and you can find the option called build now. Click on build now. So it will try to build our application. So if everything is successful, you can get a green tick mark. It will take some 2 minutes time to complete our deployment. So okay, now I can see the green tick mark, which means that our application is successfully built. And if you want to see the build results, just click here and take the console output. So this is the entire thing. So now what happens is our Jenkins take the source code from the repository, then it will build one var file, it will compile the application, after compilation, it is generated on var file. That var file pushed into the Apache Tomcat server for the deployment. So now you can see that final status is success. So now we can try to check the deployment. You can go to this Apache Tomcat localhost 9090. Now click on this manager app and provide the username as the admin. Password is the admin. Sign in. So now you can see that the Spring Boot 1 app now created. So what we have already given under the context with the name Spring Boot app 1, now it is successfully running. So now I will show you how to execute, now how to check the result. Just to click on the Spring Boot app 1. So now you are seeing the empty pages because the endpoint is not correct. So our endpoint is add followed by two number 7/8. Now try to enter. I'm getting the final result as addition of two numbers are 15. Okay, successfully we have executed. Now I will show you how the continuous integration is working. The continuous integration means whenever you are doing any changes in the source code, immediately it will, the Jenkins will immediately will trigger, then the build will start one more time. So let me do the same thing. So before that, let me click on it. So okay, so now you see that I have only one build now. Now I'm trying to do small modification in the source code. So let me take this src file, src folder, go into this main klu, click on the app controller. Now just edit this file. Okay, so previously I have given the operation as only add. I'm just going to keep it as a subtraction. I just make it as a subtraction. So now you can keep the endpoint as only sub. I just make it as a subtraction as sub. So in place of addition, I just make it as a subtraction of two numbers. Keep it as a minus b. It's okay. So once you have completed the changes, just to commit this. Click on commit changes and commit the changes. So now you see that our application is now updated. Now go to your Jenkins and just do a small refresh. See, we already set, as I already set, the cron job is star 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 star, which means that the next build will start in the next minute. We'll see that automatically it will happen. No need to do any manual intervention. It will automatically start deploying the another build. So now the time is 6:02. You can see the same in the 6:03. Meanwhile, I try to refresh. Okay, now you can see that I didn't touch anything, but it automatically start the new deployment. So this is what we call it as a continuous integration and continuous deployment. Whenever there is a changes in the source code, automatically the build gets started. See, once you completed this thing, again you can go to your Apache Tomcat and you can check your output. So okay, now successfully build, successfully completed. You can check the same with the console output. So now you see that the second build also successfully completed. Now let me go into the Apache server for the verification. So go to this localhost 9090, take this manager app, and this is our actual application, Spring Boot app 1. Click on it. So now as I already changed the endpoint, now this time with a sub followed by 10 minus 5. Sorry, 10/5. Just enter. I'm getting the result for the subtraction now. So that's it. We have successfully completed our application. So what we did in this application is that, so we created a Git repository, Jenkins used for the integration, and this Apache Tomcat for the deployment. Thank you.